win 4-3 over the Seattle Kraken. Yes, you're hearing me right. After an emotional, hard game today, the Hawks come out as victors over the Seattle Kraken. This was a game where I was going to wonder how they played after going and before, like, 2 hours before play, and um Kyle Davidson having to go meet the press talking about Corey Perry getting terminated by the Chicago Blackhawks. Well, they played well for the first two periods of play. I can't credit them in that third period. They looked bad. But Peter Mrazek stood strong. He was phenomenal. Before, though, there was a trade. But we'll talk about the trade after this, after the review of the game, shall we? But the Hawks do beat Seattle 4-3 in a close battle, but Seattle, frankly, they were the better team. They frankly should have won, and Peter Mrazek robbed this game. He was phenomenal in today's action. Shots on goal per period, 14-10 for Seattle in the first, 10-10 in the second, 12-3 in favor for Seattle in the third. Total shots on net, 36-23 in favor for Seattle. Face-off percentage, it was a 50-50 split, so that's solid for the Hawks. Power play, the Hawks went 0 for 3, but they went 5 for 5 on the PK. The Hawks were great on the PK, and in crucial time when they went down for a two-man advantage in favor for Seattle late in this game, and they played well. Hits were 13-12 in favor for Seattle. Block shots 22-12 in favor for the Chicago Blackhawks. Seattle was peppering the puck in that third period of play, and the Hawks has had a hard time trying to get out of their D zone. So let's go into the goals of the game, shall we? In the first period, that was where we saw most of the goals scored. And it was the Hawks who got off on the board first. They started off slow in the first 4 minutes play. Seattle was pressing the Hawks to start the game. But then the Hawks killed a power play of Seattle and they gained momentum. And at 8:54 in the first period, scored by number 14, Boris Kachuk, his second of the season, assisted by number 8, Ryan Donato, and assisted by number 4, Steph Jones. This assist for Steph Jones is his 300th career apple in the NHL. But this goal by Kachuk, he goes for the rebound off the shot from Jones that got, I guess, deflected from Donato up front, and Kachuk goes for the rebound, gets it, and puts it past Philip Grubauer. Hawks up 1-0. Then 2 minutes later, the Hawks with momentum all on the offensive zone. They were, after this Kachuk goal, Hawks were moving the puck well, and they end up capitalizing on momentum. At 10:23 in the first period, scored by number 6, Jason Dickinson, his 7th of the season, assisted by number 41, Isaac Phillips, and number 15, Joey Anderson, to make it a 2-0 game for the Chicago Blackhawks. This goal by Dickinson was an absolute laser clap bomb by Dickinson. Phillips sets up the one-time pass to Dickinson for the absolute clap bomb past Grubauer glove side. Hawks leading it 2-0 over Seattle. But Seattle does fight back. And it comes off of the stick of um, Kevin Korchinski. Korchinski had a rough first period of play, but he did bounce back in the rest of the game. Um, Seattle takes advantage of a bad offensive zone turnover by Korchinski, who pinched up. He tried passing it back. No one was there to get the puck, leading to Jared McCann going down the ice, setting up Matty Berniers for his fourth of the season to make it a 2-1 game in favor for the Chicago Blackhawks at 14:43. Then the Hawks get a late power play in the period, and they give up a shorthanded goal. Korchinski tried to push him back entry, and while the drop pass, frankly, it's time to cut that out. It's not working. It hasn't been working for a long time. The Korchinski with a drop pass, and it turns over. Seattle takes advantage of it, and they go down the ice. Alex Wimberg with his third of the season, assisted by Larson and Grubauer to make it a 2-2 game at 19:23 in the first period. That's usually a backbreaker when you're giving up a goal, especially a shorthanded goal to tie the game up late in a period. But the Hawks come back out in the second, the better team. They were moving the puck well, getting the opportunities off early, and they take advantage of it. At 4:22 in the second period, scored by number 90, Tyler Johnson. His sixth of the season, assisted by number 11, Taylor Radish. And number 27, Lucas Reichel, to make it a 3-2 game for your Chicago Blackhawks at 4:22 in the second. This goal was a great pass by Johnson, by Radish to Johnson, and Johnson goes bar down. We lead 3-2. And then the Hawks kept the press going. They had a few more opportunities, but it takes about 5 minutes later at 10:43 in the second period, scored by number 58, Mackenzie Entwistle. His second of the season, assisted by number 15, Joey Anderson, to give the Hawks a 4-2 lead, and that lead goes into the third period. This goal, great pass by Anderson, leading to Entwistle in the doorstep to put it in past Grubauer. We lead by 2. And we know what happened last time we led by 2. They gave up a lead, and Seattle eventually tied it. But does Seattle do it? No. We go to the third period, though. Seattle, all guns a-blazing. They were coming out trying to do anything to get on the board, to tie this, get it within 1, then to tie it. And it was not going their way. Mrazek stood strong, but at 6:51, Cartier scores his fourth of the season, assisted by Berniers, to make it a 1-goal game. It's 4-3 Chicago. Hawks had to kill off a couple power plays by Seattle late in the period. And, well, the Hawks do. Seattle pulls Grubauer. Hawks nearly had an opportunity to get it within 2 by emptying that goal. It didn't happen. Seattle kept peppering. Mrazek just was outstanding tonight, and he deserved every bit of this win. Hawks winning this thing 4-3 in the United Center. But just before the game, I'm now going to talk about the trade that occurred. The Hawks made a trade, and well, it's a good trade. I really like it. The Hawks made a trade with the Vancouver Canucks, and in this trade, the Hawks just give up a 5th-round pick for this year's draft going to Vancouver, and the Hawks will be receiving forward Anthony Beauvillier from Vancouver. His cap hit's $4.1 million. It's a cap dump from Vancouver's side, but it's a good trade for the Hawks. They can use some depth scoring, especially with Taylor Hall out, Anthony CU still out, and Perry no longer with the Blackhawks because he was terminated. This is a smart move by Davidson after all the stuff that's occurred in the last week. I really think this is a move the Hawks really made because they needed some depth scoring. Beauvillier on an expiring deal at the end of the season. It gets the Hawks up in the cap space to help them out. Depth scoring. Beauvillier also being a 26-year-old forward and coming off a career season. I think this is a good move by the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm really happy the Hawks did pick up Anthony Beauvillier. So, after talking about the trade, after talking about the game, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts were on both the trade and the Hawks win over Seattle. This has been a crazy day for the Blackhawks, and now we can take a rest. Anthony Beauvillier coming to the Chicago Blackhawks, so welcome Beauvillier. Hawks beating Seattle, and it was a great way to end the day after this being such a crazy day altogether. Patrick Kane signing with Detroit. That's just so weird. Then the Corey Perry situation going to him being terminated by the Chicago Blackhawks. Then Beauvillier was traded to the Blackhawks, and the Hawks ended up beating Seattle. I really like what the Hawks did today for the win. They played well, and they were able to get this victory. The third period, not so much, I will say again, but they played outstanding in the first two periods, and Peter Mrazek was phenomenal. So, again, down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on the trade today, the Hawks win, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, let's go Hawks!